You've always felt it, the way you can sense something's off in someone long before anyone else notices. With men especially, your intuition works like radar, picking up on hidden motives, subtle lies, and the energy behind their words. While others get blinded by charm or confidence, you catch the micro expressions, the inconsistencies, and the small slips that reveal the truth. That's the power of being an INFJ. You don't just listen to what's said, you feel what isn't. And it's the reason men with darker intentions often feel exposed around you, even if they can't explain why. Before we dive into how you do this and why it makes you so different, hit subscribe so you don't miss more insights into the rare psychology of INFJs. And let me ask you, have you ever sensed a man's true nature before he even showed it to the world? You notice micro expressions others miss. When you're around men, you can pick up on the tiniest shifts in their facial expressions, the half smile that doesn't match the eyes, the flicker of irritation they try to hide, or the slight hesitation before they answer. Most people brush these off as nothing, but you don't. Your mind immediately connects those micro expressions to the bigger picture, and you start piecing together a pattern of what they're really feeling. This ability is why you sense dishonesty or hidden motives faster than others. A man might project confidence, charm, or even innocence, but you see the flash of anger, the glimmer of arrogance, or the trace of guilt that slips through for just a second. That's all it takes for you to know there's something darker beneath the surface. You trust intuition over words. Most people take what someone says at face value, but you don't. As an INFJ, your intuition weighs more than their explanations, excuses, or even compliments. When a man tells you something that doesn't sit right, you can feel it in your gut, that quiet inner voice that whispers, something is off here. You don't always have the evidence immediately, but you know when the energy behind his words doesn't match the story he's trying to sell. That instinct allows you to sense dishonesty, manipulation, or hidden anger before the mask drops. And while others may dismiss intuition as overthinking, you know it's your most reliable guide because time and time again, it proves to be right. You pick up on behavioral inconsistencies. You have a natural talent for noticing when someone's actions don't align with their words. A man might talk about being respectful, but you see how he treats the waitress or dismisses someone he thinks is beneath him. He might claim he's loyal, but you catch the subtle glances or shifts in his tone when another woman walks by. These contradictions stand out to you like flashing warning signs, even if others brush them off as nothing. Because you're wired to look for deeper meaning, you recognize these slips as evidence of a darker truth. To you, inconsistencies aren't random. They're patterns that reveal who someone really is beneath the mask. And once you see the cracks, it's only a matter of time before the whole facade collapses. You sense hidden motives instantly. When a man interacts with you, you're not only listening to what he says, you're reading between the lines. You notice when his compliments feel transactional, when his kindness carries an expectation, or when his friendliness masks a hidden agenda. To most people, these subtle cues are invisible, but to you, they stand out as clear as day. Your mind naturally connects intention to behavior, so you can feel when someone isn't being genuine. That's why men who try to manipulate, dominate, or charm their way through interactions often feel uneasy around you. Deep down, they know you're seeing past the act. You don't just sense what they want in the moment, you sense why they want it. And that insight gives you an advantage most people never realize exists. You stay calm while observing. So one of your biggest strengths as an INFJ is your ability to stay composed even when something feels off. While others might get caught up in the charm or energy of the moment, you hold back, watching quietly. That calm detachment gives you a clear perspective that most people lose when emotions take over. Men with darker traits often reveal themselves not in what they say, but in how they react when they think no one is really paying attention. Because you don't rush to respond. You catch those subtle reactions, the flicker of arrogance, the impatience, the hidden frustration. By staying still and silent, you give them enough room to expose who they really are. Your restraint isn't weakness, it's the reason you can see what others miss. You spot emotional manipulation instantly. When a man tries to guilt trip you, flatter you excessively, or twist your words, you notice it right away. While others might get pulled into the emotional game, you feel the shift in energy as soon as it happens. Your empathy doesn't just make you sensitive, it makes you aware of when emotions are being used as a weapon instead of an honest connection. You can tell the difference between genuine concern and disguised control, between real affection and love bombing. And because you process emotions so deeply, you know when they don't match the situation. That's why manipulative tactics that work on most people don't last long with you. You see the cracks in the performance before the mask falls, and you know it's time to step back. You see patterns over time. Most people take each interaction at face value, but you don't. You track behavior across days, weeks, and months, noticing the small repetitions that others dismiss. A man might apologize for being rude once, and people let it go. But you remember the second time and the third, and you start connecting the dots. For you, one red flag doesn't always mean much, but repeated behavior becomes a clear pattern that exposes his true nature. This long-term perspective makes it almost impossible for darker traits to stay hidden from you. While others get caught up in single moments of charm or excuses, you're building a timeline in your mind, and once the pattern is obvious, you know exactly who you're dealing with. You trust your final decision. Once you've seen enough, you don't second guess yourself. You may give chances at first, observing and hoping for change, but once the truth becomes undeniable, your mind makes a clean break. This is where your INFJ strength shows. You don't need a dramatic confrontation or endless explanations. You simply withdraw your energy, step back, and let the connection end. To others, it might look sudden or harsh, but for you, it's the natural conclusion of a long process of observation and intuition. You trust what you've seen, you trust what you've felt, and you refuse to let darker traits slip back into your life once they've been exposed. That quiet certainty is what protects your peace, even if others can't understand how you knew all along. The truth is, your intuition isn't just a feeling, it's a form of intelligence that protects you from people who would take advantage of your trust. While others get fooled by charm or surface appearances, you see the cracks and connect the dots that expose what's really there. That's not paranoia, that's your gift. And the more you trust it, the more peace and clarity you'll have in your relationships. If this video spoke to you, make sure to subscribe for more insights into the rare psychology of INFJs. And let me ask you, have you ever sensed the darker side of someone before anyone else believed you?